I always loved art, especially painting and drawing, but I also grew up believing I wasn't naturally good at it. And on top of that, I didn't go to art school and I never had formal training. And because of that, I used to feel like I wasn't qualified to pursue it seriously. I would often stop myself from sharing my work, not because I didn't love it, but because I was scared that people would look at it and think it's not that good. So, for most of my 20s and even into my 30s, I kept my creative dreams buried. I convinced myself that I wasn't talented enough. But now, looking back, I can't help myself but feel a little sad for my younger self, for not having the confidence to keep going, to believe that she was enough even without all the answers. Through all this reflection, I've come to realize a few things, and I'd love to share 3 lessons that really helped me in case they might help you too. So, the first one is your thoughts shape your path. It does sound cliche, but it's true. The way we think shapes who we become. There was a time when I was stuck in this cycle of comparing myself to others, doubting every step I took, and feeling like I was falling behind in life. I had this feeling that I was bringing in all the negative energy from the world. I hit a point where I thought, you know what? If I don't love myself or believe in myself, who will? So I started doing something small. I chose to notice what was working and what I was good at. I started to notice things about myself that I used to overlook, like how I actually do have a good eye for detail. And when I commit to something, I really do stick with it. Every time I sit down to create, I may not feel confident at first, but I always end up proud of what I made. Not because it's perfect, but because I didn't give up. I kept going all the way through, and that in itself feels like such an accomplishment. Honestly, the beginning of every piece still feels a little uncomfortable. My brushstrokes feel clumsy, I second guess every color, and I erase more than I draw. I take a while before things start to flow, but slowly, piece by piece, it comes together. And that moment when I finally see the finished artwork, it always reminds me why I love creating in the first place. We're often our own worst critics. We say things to ourselves that would never dream of saying to someone we care about. If a close friend said they weren't talented, you probably wouldn't agree with them. You'd point out all the quiet, wonderful things they do to make them uniquely them. So if you've ever caught yourself thinking, I'm just not good enough or I'm not that talented, I want you to pause for a moment and ask yourself gently, is that really the truth? Or am I just comparing my chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10? Now, the second point is not being talented can be your biggest gift. I know this might sound a bit strange, but hear me out. Not being a natural at something gives you the chance to build your own story. It's a blessing in disguise. If I had spent less time hiding my work and more time just sharing the process, the messy, imperfect, growing process, I would have built not just the skill, but a story worth telling and eventually a brand of my own. And to me, that's what art is. It's not about arriving somewhere, it's about becoming. Every successful artist you know, they all started somewhere. They were all once a beginner, probably with bad proportions and awkward sketches and lots of cringy drawings. But they kept going, and every step, even the ugly ones, they mattered because that shaped who they are. The last one is treat yourself like you are your own child. When I think about how I want to raise my child, it's not about pushing them to be the best. It's about trusting them, cheering them on, and encouraging them, especially in those moments when they doubt themselves. I want to remind them that they're still loved, still capable, and still growing, even when they feel unsure or not good enough. And I want them to know that every time they try, even when they fall or don't feel confident, they're building something stronger within themselves. And then I realized, why don't I treat myself that way? What if we all treated ourselves like someone we're responsible for nurturing, with kindness, patience, and a whole lot of grace? What if we saw our self doubt not as a stop sign, but as a quiet pause, a season of becoming? Feeling unsure or not good enough is such a natural part of growing. But those feelings don't define us, and they certainly don't have to stop us. And what if we're not naturally talented? There's a quiet kind of magic in that, because it means our journey is ours alone to shape. It's about growing step by step, learning with every brushstroke, and finding joy not in perfection, but in the courage to keep going. For me, that's been the most beautiful part of this art journey, realizing that progress comes from patience and heart, not from being born gifted. Now, before I finish this video, I want to share a simple but powerful truth I found in Austin Kleon's book, Show Your Work, which I highly recommend. You don't have to be a genius. And honestly, that took a lot of pressure off me, because so often we get caught up thinking we need to be brilliant or naturally gifted to create something worthwhile. But the truth is, creation isn't about genius. It's about showing up, being curious, and giving yourself permission to grow. And honestly, believe it or not, most people, even the most successful ones, weren't born naturally talented. What sets them apart is their willingness to keep going, learning, and sharing along the way. It's about embracing the imperfect, the messy, and the unknown. It's about finding your own voice, one small step at a time. So if you're here today feeling unsure, remember, you don't have to be a genius to make something beautiful or to tell your story. You just have to be brave enough to begin and continue. And that courage, that's where all the real magic lives. Thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm really glad you're here. And if this message speaks to you, I hope you stick around. I'd love to grow together.
Sidewalk, leaves falling down. Look in your eyes. I fell in love. Walking down the street, holding hands. Street lights glow. Who is this I sing of? Writing a love song, but I'm alone. Ooh, I'll sing this song till you come along. My dreams will be reality. I'll sing this song till you come along. My dreams will be reality. Car rides late at night, the city lights light up your face. Dreams, dreams of you. We are together nothing will get in our way. Who is this I sing of? Writing a love song, but I'm alone.